This is Micah Kogo, winning Birmingham Half Marathon in 2012 in the Great Britain. The man born in Olare village in Ban Forest, Wazingishu County in the year 1986 is not your athlete. He rose from a butcherman to setting a world record at the Parade Loop 10 kilometers, clocking 27 minutes 1 second, slapping a then new mark on Haile Gebrselassie record. The story of 2008 Olympic Games 10,000 meters bronze medalist starts from the village slicing meat for his customers, but was what the turning point of Kogo's journey that saw him abandon his butcher work to venture into athletics. He takes us back in time.
Former world record holder in 10 kilometers and Olympic bronze medalist way back in 2008 in Beijing. I am born again. I'm a Christian. I fellowship at Adventist Church in Eldoret. Been running for maybe 20 years now, but I was specialist in 10,000 meters and 10K on the road. I ran 27:01 in 10 kilometers, which was world record in way back in 2009. And after that, after Olympics in Beijing 2008, which I ran with strong guys from Ethiopia and the rest of the world, Kenenisa Bekele, Haile Gebrselassie. I got bronze and I was so pleased with it. And after that, the 10 kilometer world record in 2009 and having Olympic bronze medal in Beijing, I had a big name in 10 kilometer and in 10,000 meters, which helped me in many races. So I competed as international athlete in many races around the planet, around the world.
But the Olympic medal remains precious too, as it drew sponsorship of American sportswear apparel Nike. So lucrative was it that he ditched Reebok.
Also, after Beijing, I had a great name. I can say that because it boosted me even in my sponsorship, because I was sponsored by Reebok company by then, and after then I was sponsored by Nike.
Before making his debut marathon in 2013 at the Boston Marathon, Kogo said he trained with Malaysia-based coach Sami Romeo Rono and a UK Treddington-based pace sport management run by Ricky Sims. He came third in 2 hours 10 minutes 27 seconds behind Ethiopia's Lesisa Desisa, 2 hours 10 minutes 22 seconds, and Gebre Mariam, 2 hours 10 minutes 28 seconds.
I make a debut in Boston Marathon. I went to Boston. First of all, I went to training, and I had some coaching from my coach and my management, which was post-bet management from UK. My agent was Ricky Sims. And after 3 months or 4 months, I went to my debut in Boston Marathon in 2013, and I finished second, which I feel great also. And is where we had a bomb blast in Boston Marathon after finish line. It is God mercies, guided us, but we never been hurted. I ran my personal best in full marathon, 2:06. Now I came to see that I can do marathon, and I went back to Boston, which I didn't do good. I finished, but the weather changes to high humidity after 30 kilometers, which affect my performance. And after that, I went back to Chicago, and I finished Chicago Marathon, but I didn't do well in New York Marathon, and then I did Paris also with fourth position. Then after that, I went to Hamburg and Frankfurt. I went to Singapore Marathon, and then I went to Istanbul. I did Istanbul Marathon.
Kogo signed off his international competitions as he was among the 42 pace setters at the historic Ineos 1.59 Challenge in Vienna, Austria in 2019, where Eliud Kipchoge became the first man to run 42 kilometers in under 2 hours. He was placed in the front in the V-shaped pacing format.
From 2013 to 2019, I have done 12 marathons before we went to pace for Ineos for Eliud Kipchoge 159. So we did pace setting, and I did the second group and the last second group. We were pacing for Eliud Kipchoge. I was in front, which was formed by V shape. And after that, in 2019, I went to compete, before Ineos, I went to compete in half marathon in Scotland, which I came second. Then after that, we were hit by COVID-19, and it came to destabilize our management in Britain, best sport management. And since then, since 2020, I have never competed internationally because of some, because we were being told from the management to look for other different management. So for me, staying for more than 20 years, I find so difficult to move to a different management. But now I'm still training. I'm still focused. It's only that there's in sport there is up and down. Today you go win, then today you go and lose, but you don't lose up. So you keep moving. I'm still moving, and I'm still, maybe soon I'll be back on the field, on the road, to hit the road.
And in 2004, while in the butchery, he saw 3 Kenyans, Ezekiel Kimboi, Bremen Kipruto, and Paul Kipsiele Koech, had killed 2 birds with 1 stone, stretched Kenya's dominance in the men's 3,000 meters steeplechase race, and precisely on the spiritual home of world's biggest multi-sport bonanza, Athens in Greece. The rendition of the national anthem with the athletes donning national colors while the flag flapping in the sky or draped around their shoulders spiced up the memorable moment. Motivated and challenged at the same time, Kogo, who had been following events in Athens, Greece on TV from his butchery, made a personal resolve. Someday I must grace the Olympics as a champion like my compatriots. His intense training regimen and bulging talent conspired well, and then came the next Olympiad, the Beijing Olympic Games in 2008, where Kogo picked the 10,000 meters bragging rights without much fuss. And the results, he bagged a bronze medal.
In early 2000, I was a butcherman, cutting meat and selling meat. And in 2004, in 2003, when I started running, I saw Ezekiel Kimboi winning Olympic medal in Athens, and I was so excited to see Ezekiel Kimboi winning Olympic gold medal in Olympics. And inside my heart, I saw the Kenyan flag was raised, and then the Kenyan national anthem was sung, and I was so touched. And inside my heart, I prayed God that one time I also be in Olympics. And fell through after 4 years. That is in 2008. I was in Beijing Olympics. And despite a strong field from the rest of the world, from Ethiopia, Eritrea, we had those guys who won in 2004. Kenenisa Begele, Haile Selassie, and General Dedeze. Then there was this guy from Uganda, Boniface Kiprop. I was so excited being in the bracket of medal, or being in a bronze medal in the 10,000 meters. And I saw, when we were standing in the podium, and I saw Kenyan flags being raised to high, and I was even about to cry, but inside my heart, I was feeling so joy that I have represented my country, Kenya, and I've been proud to be Kenyan.
Kogo, who harbored huge athletics in his childhood, seems to follow in the counsel of American author Les Brown, who once said, "Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss it, you will land among the stars." Kogo subscribes to a traditional diet, a variety of traditional vegetables. In the runners-up to conquering the world record, a simple training, focus, and traditional diet were his source of strength.
I've been an Adventist, 7-day Adventist member. In Adventist, they taught about the way healthy living, and being an athlete, I knew about the way of eating healthy food. And in 2009, I stayed strictly in vegetarian, and which I knew that this could help me running at the best time, my personal best in 10 kilometers. I did in that 2009. My food was vegetables, fruits, and nuts, and water. Despite going for training, long run, gym, and exercise, because I used to do gym twice per week, and exercise once per week, and speed work twice per week, which I can say now, when we came to speed work, there is speed endurance and speed for reaction. That is a different section. Now, after training, now I came to food, which you need to focus on vegetarian. Setting a world record, there's a prize money. And for me, by that time, I was a Christian, living a simple life, and just invest maybe in some farming. I planted some trees, and for some years I harvest. So and went back for training. Yeah.
So you are not under pressure?
Yeah, I was not under pressure because my colleagues was some of them were Christian, and we were staying a simple life. And even if you have set a record, or you have achieved for Olympic or World Championship, you just come and train as a normal person.
Kogo discontinued schooling after completing Standard 8 before starting to work as a butcherman. I had sat for KCSE and did not proceed due to lack of school fees, but I used to run very well in the 10,000 meters at the primary school level. Despite disappointment in academics, I hoped that one day I could compete at the international level.
In school, in class 8, I was good in Swahili. I was very good in Swahili. I could write an insha, that's 6 by over that 6. But unfortunately, I didn't make to secondary school or to university because of unavoidable circumstances. But traveling for 20 years, going through immigration, going through a lot of interviews, and try to learn English. Because I remember one first trip when we were traveling to UK. I didn't know how to speak English, to make a sentence of English. And when I was in Heathrow Airport, I had to speak as I am thinking from my head. Before I speak, I have to think.
Then translate.
Yeah, I have to think that before you speak, I have to think in English. But all in all, through those many years, traveling to US, traveling to Europe, traveling to Australia, traveling to Europe many times. You know, from 2004 to 2019, I travel all the way. I travel each year from 2004 to 2019. So it seems that I make many trips, making me to learn English. Yeah, and you know, being in the US for training, I met with many Wasungus, like many white men, and they were teaching me, although I am still more learning about English. So they hosted me. I have families in the US which hosted me many times. So it came that they took time to teach me, to learn, for me to learn English. Despite I speak Swahili, despite I speak my mother tongue, I came to learn English from traveling, from meeting my friends in the UK, in the US, in Australia, because I've been in those many places many times.
As a staunch member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, SDA, they preach a healthy living. He says they are taught on healthy living, and as an athlete, he understood why he had to take recommended diet that boosted his career. As a staunch SDA at the Family Life Church at the Pioneer Estate in Eldoret, he says he fellowships with retired athletes like Alfred Diego, Sammy Korir, and Jonathan Korir, among others.
And we fellowship with many retired athletes like Sammy Korir and Alfred Diego, who is 800 meters champion. Sammy Korir was 204 in marathon, and we have Jonathan Korir as a personal best of 204, and many others who we fellowship at Family Life SDA. And I'm playing a role of, this year I was given a role of being a leader of AMM, Adventist Men Ministries. So I am a champion in sport, and also I am championing in spiritual life. And I inspire many, you know, when I stand and give them a fast, give them a word, and give them a way of how to stay on focusing on God word and God work.
Whether by design or default, Coach Rono spotted Kogo's athletic talent and offered to guide him. He enrolled him into their camp in Kaptagat. Even after setting the world record, Kogo says he remained calm, simple, and avoided the usual show-off associated with high-achieving athletes. With money streaming in his way, Kogo said living a religious life was his priority and opted to invest in tree planting, which he now harvests.
Micah Kogo now is running a full marathon with a personal best of 206. Since 2020, after COVID-19, I'm still running. I'm still on my training program with my small team, which after we get out from the sport management, we having a small team in Kaptagat Hotel. My colleague is Micah Kogo, Benson Kiblimo, and we join other big groups. But since then, I don't have injuries. Been doing gym, doing speed work, long run. But the problem is that because I've never raced from 2020, I think 2020, because of management. After being in best sport management for more than 20 years, I found that it's quite difficult to look for a new management. And after 2022, now when Rick Sims, my agent, former agent, told me that to look for another different management, I persuaded him for maybe 2 years, that is 2022 to 2023. Then now I see it's a time now to look for a new management. I'm still running, I'm still training, although I've not competed internationally, but there was a race in Brazil which I was supposed to compete last year, but the race was cancelled because of the flood in Brazil. But soon I will be hitting the road, maybe even starting with the Kenyan marathon, which you have seen that we have Nairobi City Marathon, Standard Chartered Marathon, and the latest one which was in Eldoret City Marathon. I will start with those, and then I will look for international race, because for me to look for a race is not something big, because I'm still having a name in and my profile is good, still good. I ran clean, since then, since for 20 years or more, I've been doing a clean sport, and that's a crucial part in sport. So for me, I'll be back soon, maybe even 10 kilometers.
He assured his fans, the entire country, and globe at large that he is still an active runner, only that he has not been seen at the national and global stage. Apart from the world record, he specialized in the 10-kilometer road and 10,000 meters on track, winning El Escalade 8-kilometer run, the Corrida de Holes 10-kilometer. He also took second place in the La Province 1-kilometer. He also won the Zeven Hoeven Loop after beating Abede Dinkesa. He went. Until next time, I am Kipiego, Arab Kuruma.